Being a good person isn't about what you say, it's about who you are when no one is watching. In a world full of deception, selfishness, and hidden agendas, truly good people are rare. But how do you know if you're one of them? Are you genuinely good, or are you just pretending? In this video, I'll reveal the clearest signs that you are a truly good person, signs that separate the real from the fake. If you relate to these, you're not just good, you're exceptional. Before we begin, if you believe in spreading truth and self-improvement, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Let's dive in. 1. You do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Imagine this: you're walking down an empty street late at night. There's no one around, no cameras, no witnesses. And suddenly, you spot a wallet lying on the ground, stuffed with cash. No name, no ID, just money. At that moment, what do you do? Do you take it thinking, no one will ever know? Or do you pick it up and go out of your way to find its owner, even though it gains you nothing? That's the real test of character. Because doing the right thing when the world is watching is easy. It's when you're alone, when there's no pressure, no reward, and no punishment. That's when your true nature is revealed. The same applies to every choice in life. Do you stay loyal to your partner when no one's looking? Do you keep your word, even when it's inconvenient? Do you resist the temptation to cut corners when you know you won't get caught? This is where most people fail. They act good when others are watching, but the moment they think they can get away with something, they do. That's not real goodness, that's performance. But if you choose integrity, even in the shadows, even when it costs you, then you're not just a good person, you're unshakable. You're the kind of person this world desperately needs. So ask yourself, who are you when no one is watching? 2. You feel others' pain, like it's your own. Think about this. You're walking down the street and you see someone sitting on the curb, head down, tears falling silently. Most people glance for a second and keep walking, too caught up in their own world to stop. But you feel it. It's not just, oh, that's sad. No, it hits you deeper. Their pain. It's as if you're carrying it too. You feel the weight of their sadness, the loneliness in their silence, and you can't just ignore it. You sit down next to them. You don't need to say much. You just offer your presence, your understanding. And in that moment, without even realizing it, you've done something rare. You've made a difference. Empathy isn't about feeling sorry for someone. It's about stepping into their world, feeling their struggles like they're your own. When a friend loses a loved one, it's not just their grief. You ache with them. When you see a stranger suffering, you don't just feel bad, you act. Most people are numb. They see pain and look away because it's easier. They tell themselves, it's not my problem. But if you're someone who can't ignore suffering, someone who carries the emotions of others as if they were your own, then your heart isn't just beating for yourself, it's beating for humanity. And that is rare. So ask yourself, do you just notice pain or do you feel it? 3. You help without expecting anything in return. Think about the last time you helped someone. Be honest. Was there a part of you that hoped for recognition? A thank you? Maybe a little praise? Most people only help when there's something in it for them. Maybe it's to look good in front of others, to feel superior, or just to hear those magic words, "You're such a good person." But here's the real test of kindness. Would you still do it if no one ever knew? Imagine this. You see a homeless person shivering on a cold night. You have a warm jacket, but it's your favorite one. No cameras, no friends around to witness, just you and your conscience. Do you take off that jacket and give it away, knowing you'll never get anything in return? Or let's go deeper. What if you help someone, and instead of gratitude, they walk away without even acknowledging you? Would you feel bitter? Would you regret it? That's where true kindness is revealed. It's easy to be generous when there's applause waiting, but real kindness? It happens in silence. It happens when you give, knowing you might never get anything back, not even a thank you. If you help because it feels right and not because it looks good, then you have something rare. You have a heart that gives without conditions, a soul that expects nothing in return. And that makes you one in a million. So ask yourself, do you help for the world to see, or do you help because the world needs you? 4. You admit when you're wrong. Picture this. You're in the middle of an argument. Your heart is pounding, your pride is on the line, and deep down, you know you made a mistake. But instead of admitting it, you double down. You twist the facts, shift the blame, anything to avoid saying those 3 simple words, I was wrong. Why? Because for most people, admitting fault feels like weakness. It feels like losing. But let me tell you something. Nothing requires more strength than looking someone in the eye and owning up to your mistakes. Arrogance destroys. It builds walls between people, ruins relationships, and blinds you to your own flaws. But humility builds. It builds trust, respect, and most importantly, character. Think about the last time someone wronged you. How did it feel when they refused to acknowledge their mistake? Now imagine if they had looked you in the eyes and sincerely said, I messed up, and I'm sorry. That moment of honesty could have changed everything. If you are the kind of person who can swallow their pride, admit when they're wrong, and actually learn from it, that's not weakness. That's power. That's wisdom. And that's the mark of a truly good person. So ask yourself, do you fight to be right, or do you fight to be better? 5. You speak the truth, even when it's hard. Imagine this. You're in a room full of people and you know the truth, but speaking up means standing alone. It means risking judgment, losing friends, maybe even making enemies. What do? Most people stay silent. They convince themselves it's not their business. They look away because it's easier, safer. But you, if you're the kind of person who speaks the truth, even when it makes you the villain, then you're different. You're rare, because the truth isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it turns people against you, and sometimes it costs you everything. But here's the thing, being good doesn't mean being quiet. It means standing up for what's right, even when your voice shakes, even when it's inconvenient. Think of history's greatest leaders, the revolutionaries, the ones who changed the world. None of them had an easy path. They were mocked, rejected, even persecuted, but they never backed down. Why? Because they understood something most people don't. Silence doesn't protect the innocent. It protects the guilty. If you're someone who refuses to spread lies, who stands against injustice, who speaks the truth even when it makes life harder, then you're not just good, you're courageous. And the world needs more people like you. So ask yourself, do you stay silent to fit in, or do you speak the truth to make a difference? 6. You treat everyone with respect, not just those who can help you. Imagine you're at a restaurant. The CEO of a big company walks in, and suddenly everyone's on their best behavior. Smiles, politeness, full attention. But at the same time, a waiter trips and spills a drink, and the same people who were so charming a second ago now roll their eyes, snap their fingers, or treat them like they don't exist. This is how most people operate. They respect power, not people. But you, if you're the kind of person who treats the janitor with the same kindness as the CEO, the homeless man with the same dignity as the billionaire, then you are different. Because fake goodness is selective. Real goodness, it sees no rank, no privilege, no status. The way you treat people who have nothing to offer you, that is the real test of character. Think about it. Anyone can be polite to someone who can help them. It's easy to respect someone who holds power over you. But what about the ones society overlooks? The ones people talk down to instead of with? The true mark of a good person is simple. Do you see people as equals, or do you see them as opportunities? Because if you respect everyone, not just the ones who benefit you, then congratulations. You have something most people lack: real character. So ask yourself, do you measure people by their status, or do you see their worth? 7. You forgive, but you don't let people walk over you. Forgiveness is powerful. It frees you from anger, from resentment, from the weight of carrying someone else's mistakes. But let's be clear, forgiveness is not submission. Too many people mistake kindness for weakness. They think that if you forgive, you'll also tolerate disrespect, that if you let go of the past, you'll allow the same person to hurt you again. But real strength isn't just in forgiving, it's in knowing where to draw the line. Imagine someone betrays you. You feel the pain, the anger. You have two choices: let it consume you or let it go. But here's the catch. You can forgive without forgetting. You can release the bitterness without reopening the door to someone who doesn't deserve to walk through it again. Being good doesn't mean being a doormat. It means knowing when to give second chances and when to walk away. It means you don't hold on to hate, but you also don't allow repeated harm. Think about it. The strongest people in history weren't the ones who sought revenge. They were the ones who forgave, but with wisdom. They knew that love and self-respect must go hand in hand. If you can forgive without being used, if you can be kind without being weak, then you have something rare, a heart that is both gentle and unbreakable. So ask yourself, do you forgive and forget, or do you forgive and grow? As we conclude, if you saw yourself in these signs, the world needs more people like you. Good people are the backbone of society, but they're not always recognized. But here's the truth. Being good isn't about getting credit. It's about making a difference, one small act at a time. So, which of these signs describe you? Comment below and let's talk about what it truly means to be a good person. And if you want to see more content that challenges your mind and strengthens your character, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because the world doesn't just need more successful people, it needs more good ones.